does he have a point or not? And really broadening the understanding and try to deepen as well.
Yeah.
About 6 years ago, are you familiar with the concept of Musar?
No.
So Musar is one of the best gems that we've gotten out, and it was in the 1800s, the altar of Kelm, and he was in Europe, and he decided, hey, let's practice. Right, life hits each of us differently, and we all react to it differently, and life is our curriculum. And what might be really hard for you, Chase, is really easy for me. And what's really tough for me might be really hard for you. It might be really easy for you, right? But we all know these different traits, right, and different values. We know how God describes himself. We know how
we look at these
things. But how do we practice to get better, right? We always we go to this thing and then we come up with a major test and we fail. I'm like, oh God, well, next time I'll be ready. But we don't do anything. And there's this next major test in our life, and something goes awfully bad, right? The floods come, the rains fall down, and the house falls. And great is that ruin, right?
Right. Again.
I love that part. I mean, when Peterson's broadcast, he was like, so what do we learn from this parable? And I told this to a friend of mine. I was like, so what do you learn from the parable?
The flood is always coming.
The flood is always coming.
It's always coming.
And so what Musar does is it's a daily practice, and it says, all right, I'm going to pick 13 traits I'm going to work on. Generosity is one that I have a really tough time with. And it says, all right, for generosity, one of the things you can do is every day carry $1, $5 cash in your pocket and give it away. Intentionally give 5 ones out to people. I don't care what they have to do with it.
Yeah.
Give it to the guy that's got the sign on it. So we might buy drugs. It doesn't matter. It's not about him.
It's the generosity
It's
element.
about you.
Yeah, it's not the strategic conversion of the person to a better person.
No.
It's the generosity of the free giving to another human being.
Free giving to another human being. And so that's been helpful. I like it. Keep cash. Kelly's actually better at it than I am. But to keep cash, to be able to give it to somebody, to exercise generosity. It's like, all right, well, then the next week. So for 13 weeks, you're doing 13 different traits. You're doing the same thing. There's journaling that's involved as well.
Yeah.
So journaling gets things ingrained in your head. You should be better at that.
Well, I think we can all do better on that one.
But that's one quarter. And then the next quarter, hey, I'm back to generosity again.
Yeah. It's
easier this time because it's the second time around this year.
Yeah.
And then, the third time around, it's like, oh, this isn't quite so bad. Now I can see. It's a way that you're able to see that are made progress.
You're bootstrapping virtue too, is what's really cool. Virtuous traits, rather.
Virtuous traits. Like another one was, so I've really had to struggle with anger. And I think a lot of guys do. And there's a phrase, there's kind of a mantra that goes with it, and it's remove the match from the fuse. Make space between the match and the fuse. And so every time I'm about to get angry, make space between the match and the fuse. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath before I go, right?
Yeah, anything to give you a gap.
Anything's going to give that kind of a gap and give you a chance to think about it in your brain to calm down. But, practicing that, and then it's easy to fall out of practice. This is why it's better to do it in like a group with 2 or 3 other people. Like Kelly and I have like a kind of daily devotion. And then Alan Moranis is the guy that we go through. He started Musar Institute here in the United States. He went through a real crisis of faith, went over to Hinduism for a little while.
Oh, wow.
Came back came back to Judaism and was just like, oh, this is what I was looking for, kind of a way, seeing the divine spark in every person. Like God said, he put his image on it. So there's a divine spark. There's something good in everybody. So how do I make the divine spark shine more brightly?
Right.
So how do I make his images and instincts? And so having gone through this over the years, we just think about these traits. And it's really nice. And I think one of the frustrating things I saw in Protestant Judaism, I see it in Protestant Christianity and Messianic Judaism, is just that people come to the Lord. And they're like, oh, they're so excited. But then there's no effect. This just doesn't seem to be an effective change in their life. Mm-hmm. Like, what is God doing in you and with you? It's like, oh, well, I don't have time for this, or I get so busy, or I can't believe my life is crap, or these terrible things that have happened. It's like, what are you doing? How is... And so in this Musar, I feel, is kind of like a partnership.
Yeah, well, and it's also doing a pragmatic...
And it's a practical partnership.
It's a cooperative training environment. Mm-hmm. And then it's not saying, here's the standard, meet the standard, the end. It's saying, here's the standard. Here are some ways to remove the obstacles between you and the standard. And here are some other ways to help you realize that what you thought I just said was the standard is actually even higher. It's even more deep.
But it's a practice,
yeah,
right?
And it's
so
practice.
So the next time,
like any other skill.
So the next time that I need to be generous to somebody within the family, it's easier for me now to give money to people.
Yeah.
Because I've practiced giving money to people and not expecting it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I hadn't practiced, I was like, oh, crap, I'm going to have to do that. What are they going to do? When are they going to pay me back? Or if they can go through, this is a good thing, right?
All that static.
All this kind of static that I struggle with being generous. Mm-hmm. I was able to practice, like giving $1 away is not as hard as giving $100 away. Mm-hmm. But practicing helps.
But now you can give $100.
Now I can give $100.
We are taking donations, by the way.
Easier.
I'm just playing.
It's easier. I'm not saying it.
Oh, right.
I'm not arrived
not
yet.
going to happen.
Not arrived yet, but right. But there's a steady pace.
Yes.
So that's been helpful,
Oh,
and then we kind of moved in.